the June 2024 edition career fair. It was supposed to happen last Friday, but owing to the challenges that we had across the country, we postponed it to today. I would like to also appreciate everybody who was able to attend, prepare, and make presentations in this particular event. These presentations are very, very important for our students and for everybody who is going to be hearing from them and also watching them and also learning from them, not only for this time, but also for the future. Therefore, I know this is going to be something very, very important for all of us. So feel appreciated. So I'd like to start with a word of prayer so that we can get into what is supposed to be covered. So let's bow our hands in prayer. Our Father and our God, we come before the presence with utmost thanksgiving and humility. We acknowledge, Lord, that it's by your faithfulness, Lord, that we're able to have this event and even to see today. We want to start with you. We want to move with you and end up with you. We want to be guided by you, Lord, in everything we undertake. May what we are about to do as presentations in our career fair, Lord, bring enlightenment, may it bring inspiration, may it also help to improve knowledge and make our students better, as well as all the stakeholders and all the people who come into interaction with the Institute of Advanced Technology. We praise you, Lord, we honor you, and we glorify your holy name. And it's in the mighty blood name of Jesus Christ to do prayer and believe. Amen. So for today's event, we are going to have 3 presenters representing the various branches that we have. We are going to have a presentation from Buruburu branch, presented by trainer Samson. We're also going to have a presentation from the CBD campus from Alex Aturi. And we're also going to have one from Mombasa campus, which will be done by Simon Gadai. So today we're going to look at 3 core presentations. The first one will be on effective study methods for students in the 21st century. The second one will be effective time management techniques. And the last one will be the role of the faculty in the success of a student. So without further ado, I want to welcome the first presenter, that is Samson, so that he can take it away. Feel most welcome, Samson, and we appreciate your presence. Santi, back to you.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible. I'm just going to share my screen so that we can presentation. Yes. Name is Samson Omolo. I'm a trainer IAT, and we are going to learn about effective study methods for students in the 21st century. Now, effective study methods. When we talk about effective study methods, a method is a structured approach, and we can say it's also a technique used to achieve a certain goal. But let me tell you, if you want to catch a rat, there is a rat that has been disturbing you at home, and you want to catch it. We all know about the famous cartoon Tom and Jerry. You can well attest to it that Tom really tried to catch Jerry many of times, and I know this cartoon goes if you haven't watched and you're watching this video and you haven't watched Tom and Jerry, then I think you are an alpha generation. I think the Gen Zs will be more familiar to this setup of Tom and Jerry. As Jerry will always escape Tom's methods. That's why we are saying the technique used by Tom to catch Jerry were all methods. But when we want to look at the most effective, there are methods and there are effective methods. Those are 2 different things. We can say that Tom had methods of catching Jerry, but Jerry had effective methods of escaping Tom's methods. So there are methods, but not all methods are what? Effective to study. And as an institution, we have done the research and looked at what are the effective study methods that a student can use so that they can achieve their goal of getting the skills required, of being competent in the area of competence. So hence, there are identified proper study methods or effective proper study methods. And effective study methods for a student in the 21st century, or as I will say, for the Gen Zs of this year, would be a blend, a blend of traditional techniques that we have been knowing and the modern technology techniques. So a blend of the two will give us an effective study methods. And here are some of the effective techniques that I have sampled through in my life. Number one is active learning. Active learning. What do we mean by active learning? Active learning involves you as a person engaging with the learning material. You as a person having a kinetic study session. You as a person having interact. Sometimes you will see the photo that we are presenting of a baby, and you will see babies when they get a new toy or when they get a new product. There is a stage where everything is taken into this mouth. They want to interact with everything. You give a baby your hand, they take it to their mouth. You give them a toy, they will take it to their mouth. And you can see like that baby there over there has a train toy, and he's sitting on it. He's stepping on the toy. He wants to interact actively with that toy. And you will see a baby when they want to learn. They want to learn a new toy. They want to learn their toys. They will put it in their mouths. They'll try to hear it. They will try to smell it. They will try to knock it down and see what material is this. They are just engaging with the material. Just as you are, when you are presented with a new course concept, you are presented with a new concept in class. You want to study that concept. You want to study that course. You want to study so that you can gain the required skills in that course. What we are saying is that engage, have meaningful engagement with that course. Have meaningful engagement with the study material. If it is books, have meaningful engagement with your books. Have meaningful engagement with the PDFs. Make flashcards with the PDFs, and you can be able to make the flashcards using some technological tools that are there for you for free, like the Anki and the Quizlet. This will help you to make flashcards, ask you questions and you are replying, and it will space up repetition so that you can, through repetition, actively recall and memorize what you are studying. Instead of just reading and listening to something, actively engage. And sometimes you have found that people sometimes run or go to a jog while listening to some lecture or some course study material, so that it can create that kinetic energy of activity, so that when you are still, you remember the activity that you are doing. It is easy to remember an activity. It is easy to remember an activity that you did yesterday, but it's sometimes hard to remember a book or a verse that you read yesterday. So it is very important for you to relate an activity with a book, to relate an activity with a concept, to relate an activity with with your memory. You can try this out, and I'm sure some of you, in your most active moments, you can remember details of that moment. So it is about your brain taking the activity and not only being passionate about the activity, but also taking the memory during that activity. That is active learning as an effective study method. On to our second effective study method, dear beloved viewer, is digital tools and resources. We have numerous digital tools. We are in a digital world. We are in a digital age. We are in a century where resources are digitalized. We have platforms where you can find course materials. You can find platforms where notes are available. You don't sometimes need to carry out large books in your bags. You can find some courses, some short courses that will help you in the study. For example, is Coursera. Coursera is one of the courses by Google that will that provides courses, short courses that goes for even weeks or even hours, so to completion, that can give you uh, a resource on a particular course, on a particular topic, so that you can grasp what is what has been filtered for you. There are resources such as Kahoot. Kahoot is a study material, or is a digital tool that can enable you to gamify some questions. We have used Kahoot as teachers in IIT. That's why we are the best education experts. We have used Kahoot in our classrooms to engage the students in participating in class quizzes. We realized as an institution that sometimes the old method of getting into a classroom and just asking questions does not ignite anymore the students' enthusiasm to participate in that class, or does not ignite thinking for a student, because it's a traditional method. And what effectiveness that we have come to find is to blend the two. It is not to leave it alone, but to blend it. So when we bring the questions in a gamified way, and Kahoot has done it best, whereby students can log in into a portal and have questions which are gamified. You get points of each and every question. It stimulates learning. It stimulates your experience with that study material. It stimulates your experience of memory. It stimulates you as an active learner. And when you get points in a game, we have seen people gaming anywhere, anytime. We have seen people gaming and even hours spending in a game without being followed or without being supervised. But immediately somebody starts to study, they lose their concentration very fast. And so digital tools and resources have made it possible. The app engineers, or the founder of Duolingo, the language learning platform, said that as a researcher, they had found that it is very easy for somebody to enter into a digital platform which is engaging than to enter into a passive learning environment. So Duolingo came up from the point where it is an engaging platform. It is like a game you are playing while learning a certain language. And right now they have made many to be acquainted with certain languages. They have made many to be able to speak foreign languages. And in fact, if you just want to learn any foreign language, just visit Duolingo and other platforms, digital tools that will help you engage in your study. And that is a good study method, using digital tools. We have notes, note-taking tools that will help you take notes. We have note-taking tools that will enable you to scribble, and it will change your scribble handwriting to a font that can be read. You know, some of us have handwritings that, you know, when we start to read, we can just even doze off, or we get bored to see that one monotonous handwriting. There are pads or note-taking applications that enable you to scribble through the notepad and changes whatever you have scribbled into a perfectly written font handwriting. There are also applications that even can transcribe for you the notes that you are detecting or whatever you say on them. So those are digital tools that can help you in effective study. Effective study requires note-taking. It is a traditional method that whenever you are studying, it is required you to take some notes. And for effective studying, you using digital tools to marry together the note-taking and using the digital tools. That is an effective student and will get effective results. Time management is also an effective study method. Time management. You know, it has been said over and over again, if you cannot manage time, then you cannot manage anything. Time management. Time is money. Time management. It is involving studying in short focused bursts, and part of our online fair today will be time management. So I won't talk more on this, but I just want us to know that time management is very important for study. When we study, we have heard the quote that education is the equalizer. Well, today I'm also saying that if education is the equalizer, try time. Time is equal to everyone and anyone. Everyone has 24 hours. There is now no single person who has got 24 hours. So everyone has 24 hours. Time has equalized everybody everywhere. No matter where you are in this face of the earth, time is the same. So your time management in study is very important. There are several rules and methods of how you can manage your time, but I want to say, and I will leave it for another segment, but I want to say that for effective study, time is a very important component. Time management. What about collaborative learning? It is an old method where when we come together, great things happen. We have heard of such sayings. We have heard of sayings that collaborative learning is better than you single-handedly handling a task. We have seen many sayings in our Swahili language on collaborativeness, to collaborate. So this approach involves students working together on activities or learning tasks in groups enough to ensure everyone participates, not large groups like class. A class is still a collaborative learning. I've seen students who, when you tell them that we will have a one-on-one learning, there is how their morale goes down, because maybe they will be afraid that the teacher will be on to their case. So sometimes group learning is something unto us. You see, even God, there is the worship in groups. You know, that's why sometimes we appear in groups in churches. So there is a reason also why God says in his good book that wherever 2 or 3 are gathered, I am there. There is something that you need to note on collaborative learning. So this approach whereby you come together to study together, to listen to different perspectives of one another, and to respect each and every person's perspective of the collaborating peers can enhance understanding and provide deeper perspective on the material. So if we were a group of 3 or 4 people in a round table and we all had a perspective of a concept, and maybe your perspective was not deep enough, there is somebody who will add onto your perspective, because it is a group learning. It is a group learning. So there are also, it must not be just a physical group learning. There is also online forums that facilitate these group learnings. Platforms like the one that we are using right now, Teams. We have Zoom, we have Reddit, we have Stack Exchange, we have specialized platforms like Stack Exchange that can enable you to come as a group and collaborate on a project, on a concept. So collaborative learning, it might be an old traditional technique, it might be some cliche, but it is very important that we may use these traditional methods, combine them with our digital tools, modernize it a little bit, meet at not the usual class, meet even at a coffee cafe, meet somewhere serene and at a serene environment, meet in an online platform and have your study together and have your collaborative study together. I hope I'm not losing you at this point. So we are going on smoothly. Remember, first we have engage with the material. Number 2, we have the digital tools. Then we have the collaborative learning. Next, we are going to multimodal learning. Multimodal learning, multi means multiple, model means maybe a method. So multimodal learning combines visual, kinesthetic learning, auditory learning, use of videos. You can use podcast, you can use hands-on activities to engage different styles and reinforcing understanding. Do not just stick to reading a book. Do not just stick to writing notes. Look, other than reading just the book, listen to the book. Listening to the book. Other than just listening to the book, have videos explaining a concept of the book. This reinforces an understanding. This engages different learning styles in your brain. And sometimes we have not yet known maybe what type of person are we, because effective study methods also goes to a type of person. But before I mention on the type of person that you are in, the type of person that you are in during a study, I want you to engage multi modes of learning. Engage your hearing, engage your eyes, engage your hands, engage even your tongue in learning. Whenever you do this multimodal learning, you are creating and reinforcing the parts in your neuron of grasping and memorizing the concept. You are reinforcing in your minds the concept that are required for you. Using mind maps, I've loved mind maps, creating visual diagrams from the definition. Where do we go to the definition? What was the subtopic? From the subtopic, what was the other subtopic? And creating that mind map and connecting this mind map as a network to the study topic that you are learning. You connect those strings as a detective. I know you have seen those crime movies and those crime series. You have watched FBI. You have watched those Criminal Minds movies, and you have seen how the detectives, they put pictures of the suspects on a board. They have a mind map of how the investigation is taking place, and they sit back on a table and just rest as they look at this mind map. This draws a learning mechanism of the way the crime or the criminal empire is structured. This creates a memory of the study topic. So this might be an old method, but remember, with the digital tools, this can be effective for us as the generation of the 21st century, or for us as the Gen Zs or the Alpha generation, to use these methods in studying for our next exam or for our next skill practice. Our also next and critical effective method is critical thinking and problem solving. If your why is not that strong to study a concept, then you're not going to get it. You have to think critically, and thinking critically most revolves on why, how, what, when, where. Those three, the 4 W's and a H. Why, when, how, what, and how. 3 W's and a H, sorry. 3 W's and a H. So critically think, what is the problem? If this is the topic, if we have the topic, what is the problem? What is the definition of this topic? If we are defining a computer, what is a computer? Why should I study computer? When was this computer brought? How did it came to be that we have a computer? Think critically, and when we start thinking critically on a topic, on a material, on a study, then we develop something called critical thinking, and then we develop problem solving in our study. So then, rather than just looking at the tools, if I'm studying engineering, rather than just looking at the tools, if I'm studying engineering in networking, rather than just going through the tools that we have, like in IIT, we have a course called networking, that is the CCNA course, the CCNA, the Cisco Certified Network Associate. So if you're just studying the course and you are in a position where you are to crimp a cable, to make an Ethernet cable, rather than just looking at the tools that you have been given, you are to ask yourself, I want to communicate. Why should I communicate? How should I communicate from one computer to another? And by then you say, how should I use then this crimper? This tool is a crimper. How should I use it? How should I use the RJ45? And at IIT, we develop that critical thinking for our students, that when they are studying in any of our courses, we develop their critical thinking and bring them to the inventor's thinking problem and the inventor problem solving, so that they can understand and apply their knowledge to practical scenarios and enhance their skills. So this deepens understanding. Looking at case studies, You have two computers. You want to make them communicate. How would you make them communicate? They can maybe, pass electrical signals from one point to another. Okay, so how will we do that? Then we need a cable. Okay, so what cable do we need? We may need just a wire. So, okay, so this wire, how is it going to pass signals from one communication to another? Then there is supposed to be rules. Yes, the protocols now come in. So when you now start to study having that critical mindset, asking yourself why, asking and answering questions to stimulate your thinking, to stimulate your brain to think. Not just study because, oh, this one teacher mentioned and you're writing it down. This one teacher mentioned. No, that is not how we should study. Or studying and saying, oh, this looks like a good point. No, that is not how we should study. Critical thinking helps us to study effectively. Problem solving. You're solving a problem in this one. The reason, by the way, why we are educated, we study, is because somebody solved a problem, and for that problem, for solving a problem, presents another complex problem. We have solved so many problems in this world, but problems continue piling up and piling up because there are more complex problems. So if you may know how we solve this problem, then solving the next complex problem will require you not just to have the education, but to have a problem solving skill. That's why we are educated. That's why we come as educational experts for some, problem solving skills. Other than, and most important, or to the heart of this, or the perfection of this, is healthy study habits. There are bad study habits that sometimes we develop. Like I told you, there are many methods. Like catching a rat, there are many methods. One of most famous philosophers said that there are many ways to catch a rat. You can put a trap, you can poison the food and give it to the rat. You can, spray insecticides, just to kill the rat. You can even, just burn the whole house because you want to catch a rat. And so there are good habits, but there are also bad habits. But I want to specifically go on the good habits, the healthy habits. Regular breaks during and physical activities during the reading time. There are regular breaks. That's why even in a school, you have, after a lesson, you may have a 5 minutes break or a 5-minute recess, so that your brain may not monotonously concentrate, but have a time to internalize what it has have. One that I want to speak particularly is healthy sleeping patterns. Have a regular sleeping time. Do not extend almost to the exams because you have an exams to do. Do not just read to the wee hours. Science has shown that sleep is very important. During your sleep, this is when your brain clears out irrelevant messages that you have during the day, or relevant or relevant information that your brain has. And that goes back to, if your why is not that strong, then your brain might clear out the information as relevant. And that's why it is very important that when you're studying, you just don't study. And I know that this has happened to many of us, mostly maybe millennials and Gen Zs who are revising for their next exams. Have you ever realized that sometimes you studied before the exams and you studied very hard and you studied for a lot of time and you spent hours reading, but immediately when you went to sleep, something happened. Everything in the exam room disappeared. It's like your brain formatted during your sleep. But before you slept, your brain was just full and packed with knowledge. But just immediately after you sleep, it's like you are just in a cloud and there is nothing in your brain. You try to remember even the page. You can see the page. Yes, you can see the page. Because you are opening the page, you can see that activity. But you cannot see anything in that page. That's because when you sleep, the brain clears irrelevant information because you did not critically, you are not having a problem-solving technique. You are not having a problem-solving mindset. Your brain cleared out that information as irrelevant because it was not seeing how it is helping in your life. So sleep helps in clearing out irrelevant information in your life. Yes, somebody had broken you yesterday. That is an irrelevant information in your life. So it clears. Somebody, mishandled you yesterday. Irrelevant information. Forgive, forget, God. But at that particular point, that is when you sleep, and it creates space for memory, fresh, to be stored for other good study methods or good study concepts. The sleep patterns also help you to relax. It helps also to create the neural patterns in your brain. When you sleep, the brain, because you had a problem solving skill, you had a problem in your mind of grasping a concept and you try to explain the concept in your mind, and when you sleep sometimes the concept was not well explained, and so your mind during sleep tries to find other routes. Neurons goes and find other routes of solving the problem that you had. Was it a math concept? It goes through your mind that there is a way through. Your mind goes through other neural paths, and sometimes going through a path during a sleep, your brain goes through some neural paths that you had created, and it makes a groove. It makes like a path. It makes the path so cemented because you were thinking upon it critically. Yeah? Like your brain was firing up, fire in that path, and so the path was created, and so it sticks. It cements itself. Healthy study habits, nutrition and hydration. Nutrition brings on whatever you eat. There are nutrients that are very effective for brain development and memorization. There are foods that are very impactful for the brain memory, and there are foods that also destroy your brain memory. There is a diet that is causing you to have brain loss. We remember drugs and substance abuse, which will hinder you from having good memory. We have foods that can really inhibit you from having good memory. Hydration is very important. Drinking a lot of water. You as a person who is 62% water, how don't you want to drink water? You are basically water, so try to always rehydrate. Gives the body new, I don't know, have you ever just taken a glass of water and just drank it and felt the effect of the brain? You feel a cool breeze, not outside but inside your brain. A cool breeze. It's different. It's like you get into a shower and it was a hot day and you just submerge your head in water. It's like a cool, relaxing breeze. So that is the same as when you drink water. A lot of water to maintain the body function. It helps in also being healthy and having a healthy brain for effective study. And to that, we also have customization and personalization. All these study methods uh, can be personalized. They can be customized to fit you as a person, as an individual. And that's why I say that there are different kinds of people during study. There are people who may want to study at night. There are people who may want to study during the day. There are people who want to study when there is an hostile environment. You know, we have seen people who say that they study when they are listening to music. You know, there are people who say that they study when they are out, maybe in the nature. There are different people who study, and you know, there are some scientific research that have gone into this. Some have come up with three basic personalities during study, and I'll leave that unto you to look at it. But what I want us to look at here is the adaptive learning technologies. How can you adapt to these learning environments? The software that adjusts content to pacing based on student performance, you know, and learning style. Looking at different softwares or different applications that can engage you how you want. You can personalize your Kahoot to the different timings. You can personalize your quizlet that gives you the slides or the placards. You can personalize your health. You can personalize your group of members that you use to study with. You know, sometimes somebody may feel that, you know, no, they said you have to have a group, so I'll take the most brilliant. I, for my personal reason, I will never attend a group that have the most brilliant people. I'll rather attend a group that has average brilliant people that are struggling with some concept as I am struggling, so that we can struggle together, fumble together, and know it together. When I get a group where everybody knows it, I find myself shrinking because I find that I'm the odd one out. So I'm personalizing even my collaborative group, you know. So it's not just a matter of being in a group, it's a matter of being in an effective group. So personalize these tools. I'm not just going to enter all online platforms of groups. I have a study group that is personalized unto me, is fit for my personal gain. So another thing on personalization and customization is goal setting. Set your goals right. It personalizes your study goal. It personalizes your study method. Not just having breaks, but I would like me, if I'm into it, I'll not have a break until I've met a dead end. Then I say I'll have a break unto this. So personalize your and customize your study to fit you, and do not just make it fit you, personalize to make it easy, but personalize to push yourself to the extreme, to push yourself to the next level. Always try and push yourself to the next level. And also, I think last but not least is mindfulness and stress management. Mindfulness is very important. Meditation can help you get mindfulness and can help you manage stress. Studies sometimes can be stressful because these are new concepts. They are aliens to us. They seem big and giants to us. They are creepy and sometimes it causes stress and it causes us to panic, and anxiety attacks happen. And sometimes if we have underlying conditions, we now start having pants and pants over a study technique, a study concept. And to manage and to be mindful of this, to have our minds together, not have any distractions, to be in a state of mind where we say now we are in a mental health. Our our mental health is 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 optimized. I don't want to say 100% because I think nobody is 100% because of this life, but we are optimizing, we are on the optimal position of our mental health. So sometimes stress can come in with study because of the concepts and the formulas and whatever the study material is. We can be having books of 1,000 pages. We can having maybe class sessions of a whole semester or a whole term or whatever what you want to study. We can be having novels and books to summarize, or PDFs and several PDFs to summarize. Mindfulness is very important so that you can be on the optimal mental health and reduce stress. How to know your stress management. How do you manage stress in that particular time? Encourage a growth of mindset and being kind to your oneself during setbacks and enhance reliance. Do not put do not be too much hard on yourself so that you can get a concept. I've seen sometimes, because you cannot get a concept, or the concept is not mathing. The math is not mathing. So maybe you bang your head on the table, you beat your head, those are signs and symptoms of poor stress management, because you start to be stressed because you have an exam around the corner, you have an essay to write. Do not bang yourself. Have good mindfulness, have good mental health, have good stress coping mechanism. If you cannot sometimes get it and you see you are having stress, find a stranger, just explain the concept. Try just to explain the concept to even a 4-year-old. They won't understand whatever you say, but they will give you a listening ear, and because they can listen to you, it gives that somebody can listen to what you can say, although it is not right. But then you can have the other part. That's where I think you always have your conscience talking to yourself. You're explaining to someone something, a concept, and then your conscience is also talking to yourself and saying, okay, that will get it right, that will get it right. Okay, so here is where you went wrong. So this is where the wrong in your study is, or this is where you didn't get it right in the technique or in the concept. And so that helps a lot in managing your stress, so that you can calm down and see yourself and have compassion about yourself, and you think about whatever the concept of the study you are going through. And that is on mindfulness and stress management. I think last but not least is useful of analytics. Analytics is just allowing yourself to question yourself, allowing some platforms that will quiz you. Look at quizzing platforms that are available for you to test on your knowledge. There are applications again that can help you to prepare. There are study questions that you can search on online that can help you prepare for a test, that can quiz you, that can analyze your concept. For our ISDL program that we have at IIT, I love the analytics that they have in the skills box. Skills box is one of the tools that they use to analyze our students on the concept that they have learned in this training that we have. And the pass mark is always a 75. The pass mark is always a 75, but we have had students scoring up to 90%. But we told them, we usually tell them to aim higher. In that skills box, you should be able to, score even 100%. So skills box as an analytics of the students to prepare them for the now online ICDL exams. And I welcome you to try it out in our various institutions. You are welcome even in Buruburu campus, where you'll get trainers who will help you study effectively on your journey to start with computers. So learning analytics are there. Many educational platforms offer analytical tools to track the progress and identify areas of improvements, allowing for data-driven strategy. So the example that I gave you, like Skillbox, will enable you to look at areas, and even it highlights areas that maybe you have not yet grasped well because of a question that you may have gotten it wrong. So that is it for my presentation. I hope you may customize these study techniques effectively for your effective learning. See you next time. I hope if you have any question down at the comments section, you can send us your comments so that we can have an engagement and study effectively together. Otherwise, it has been a pleasure being your presenter, Samson Omwakamwaka.
Thank you so much, presenter Samson. That was a beautiful presentation. The essence of having career fairs is not only to link the skills to the market, but also to ensure that we're able to add value to our students. We believe studying effectively is one of the ways that a student is able to become a better worker. He's also able to pass exams and also add value, so that, because at IIT we intend to also have a whole person, not somebody who is very good academically, but socially cannot be able to have effective study. Because again, if you use study methods which we also have effect on your health, then eventually we are going to miss the point. Thanks so much, Samson, for that, and thank you once again for that beautiful presentation. So next we are going to have our second presenter, who is Alex Aturi. Alex is going to make a presentation on time management. As you've heard Samson say that time is the most sensitive resource, because once you lose it, you cannot recover it. So we also expect our students, our stakeholders, and anybody who has interaction with IIT to be somebody who understands how to effectively manage time, because time is what causes the difference. As you have heard that we all have 24 hours in a day, but how you spend them is what makes a difference over time between you and the other person. So we expect our trainees to be effective people, to be effective time managers, not only of themselves, but also of the areas they work in, and how they study and how they get ready for exams and all that, so that they become the best that we expect them to be. So without further ado, Alex, you're most welcome to proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis, for the warm welcome. Thank you, Samson, for that amazing presentation. But first and foremost, I would like to confirm if you're able to see me and hear me.
Yes, we can, Alex. We can see you and we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. So I want to directly go to the time management techniques. And as my previous presenter has said, and even the introduction done by Dennis right now, that we all have 24 hours on this planet. No one actually has 26 or 24.5 or 24.3. All of us have 24 hours. And therefore, how we use our time really matters. How we use our time really matters. And we all know that time is one of the most expensive resource on the planet. I know we have things like health and other things, but I can assure you, and already all of us know, that time is one of the most expensive resources that we have on the planet. Now, I would like to begin with some two quotes that I came across. I want to be giving some 2 quotes I actually came across today, as I was also trying to finalize with the preparation and all that. Number 1 is this: that the bad news is that the bad news is that time flies. That's the bad news. But here's the good news: is that you're the pilot. Let me repeat: the bad news is that time flies. But here's the good news: is that you are actually the pilot. This was spoken by Michael Atsula. Give me a minute. Let me share the screen and all that. Are you able to see my presentation? All right. So sorry about that. I was saying that we have 24 hours only on the planet, and as we said, that time is one of the most expensive resource that we have on the planet. And there are these 2 quotes that I came across, and one of the quotes was that the bad news is that time flies, and the good news is that you are the pilot. That was done by Michael. And I also came across another quote that's very interesting. It says this: time is life. To waste your time is to waste your life. But to master your time is to master your life and make the most of it. Let me repeat: time is life. To waste your time is to waste your life, but to master your time is to actually master your life and make the most of it. This was said by a gentleman called Alan Lacane. So welcome to the time management techniques presentation. My name is Alex. I'm a corporate trainer here at the Institute of Advanced Technology, and I'll be taking you through this particular presentation. So before we even go further, what is time? Let us define what time is. So time is according to Merriam-Webster, time is the measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. It is actually a measured or measurable period during which an action, process, or condition exists or continues. In bracket, that is duration. That is defined by Merriam-Webster. And also we have some definition here from Cambridge Dictionary. They say that time, that is the part of existence that is measured in minutes, days, years, or etc. So this process is considered as a whole. Now, for the guys who normally run 100 meters race, I don't know if the record has been broken yet, but we know one of the fastest human beings on the planet was Usain Bolt. He's actually Usain Bolt. And I think he was doing around 9 point something seconds. So it can also be measured in seconds. So therefore, what is time management? What is time management? So time management, according to what we have here, is a system that allows you, it's just a system that allows you to plan your things, your work in advance, and then give it exact amount of time you're likely going to take, or you want to allocate to perform a specific task or task per day. So that is basically what time management is. Simply a system that you put, or an organization has put, that allows one to plan out in advance the exact amount of time they will want to allocate to performing a specific task or tasks per day. But therefore, what is time management technique as a whole? Therefore, we can combine the two and say these are specific methods that one can employ so that when implemented into our daily schedule, they can help us advance how we manage our time properly. Remember, still remember this: is one of the most expensive commodity or resource that we have. Then why is time management important, apart from us knowing that it is one of the most important resources that we have on the planet? If you're looking to have, or rather we're asking, what are the benefits of time management? To borrow some content from, to borrow some points from John Scott, if you want to maintain what you call a work-life balance, you need to know how to manage your time well. Maybe you're working a couple of hours at work, and maybe you have a family at home, or you are a student, you have around 8 units to handle in a semester. How do you ensure that you've allocated enough time for each subject so that you can perform well in all of them? So the following are some of the few. We have plenty of the benefits of good time management. Number one, you're going to experience what you call increased productivity. You want to be as productive as possible. So one of those is you're going to be very productive. And I'm sure for sorry, I'm told my microphone has been off all this time.
Alex, I can hear you clearly. Your microphone is okay.
All right. So we were saying that one of the benefits is increased productivity and also reduce stress. Remember, when you have an exam to study for or a task to prepare for, and we know how deadlines normally get there fast and all that. So if you want to reduce stress because you have so much you haven't done, you need to start by managing your time very well. So also part of that, the benefit you're going to get if you manage your time very well, it is better control of your workflow. You have control of the sequence of events of your day, your week, your month, and your year. So any person who has mastered the art of managing their time well, they are going to experience better control of their workflow. Last but not least, we also have ability to consistently meet deadlines. There's nothing as bad and as stressful if you've not met your deadline. I kid you not. It's something that can make you be anxious or even have high levels of depression and stress because you're not able to finish what you're supposed to finish at a given deadline. So now, according to the University of St. Augustine's for Health Sciences, they say the following, like, how we choose to use and organize our time is something many of us struggle with. So they're talking about time management and all that, but actually doing the work is requires you to put a lot of work into that. So effective time management allows us to make most of our day. We are going to accomplish tasks more quickly. We are going to have better priorities in life and in our day and in our 1 hour that you have or our 24 hours. So different people, depending on who you are, then you're going to choose a time strategy or a time method management technique, depending on who you are. If you're a student, then you need yours that is customized based on what you need or what you need to achieve in that semester or that particular period of that time, study time. You also may, if you're a professional, the same applies. You need to have your own different strategy and all that. If you're a visual person, you may need a color. You may prefer what you call a color-coded calendar of a written to-do list and blah blah. So that's why you normally see managers and CEOs or any busy person. One of the things they've actually incorporated into their life is having a diary. And let me tell you, if you're at the top, in terms of in any organization, a diary is one of your close friends, because you have so much to do, and you need to list down what you're supposed to do, let's say in a day, in this month, or in this year, and all that. So diary is one of those tips that you need to have to manage your time. But I want us to look at the following 9 techniques. These are famous, common techniques that we need to look at for today. I know there are a couple of many techniques outside there, but let us look at these and see what we can learn from there. So technique number 1 is called the Pareto analysis, also known as the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 rule. Now, what is this technique all about? Number 1, this rule was actually created by an Italian economist called Vilfredo Pareto. This rule was created by an Italian by the name Vilfredo Pareto. The idea behind this is that 20% of the actions you're going to take are going to produce 80% as the result. Like 20% of actions are responsible for the 80% of outcomes. So this helps you to prioritize tasks that are most effective at solving problems. So you have so many problems that you need to solve either in a week or in a day or in a semester. There are only few things that you can do, 20% of them, that are going to give you 80% of the outcome. So how does it work? Let me take you through how it works briefly. So number 1, you need to list some of the problems you're facing. For instance, for example, you're a student and you feel like your grades are not like how you want them to be. So the first thing is you need to identify a problem. So identify the root cause of each problem. So once you notice that your grades are not as amazing as you may want them to be, you identify the root cause of each problem that you may have. Maybe you're watching a lot of Netflix, there's a lot of social media, maybe you're replying to emails here and there without like a specific time for replying emails or calls and all that. So those could be the reasons why maybe your grades are not at where they're supposed to be. So once you list all those things, this is what you need to do. Assign a score to each problem. So you have all those problems. Maybe it's your grades, maybe you're not able to deliver at your workplace, blah, blah, blah. So which one is the most important? Your grades, your workplace, and all that. So you need to assign numbers to more important problems. Like I'm sure all of those that I've named are very important. And once you do that, you need to group all of those problems together by cause. For instance, group together all the problems caused by spending too much time on social media. Too much time on social media, what kind of problems, like the percentage and all that. Once you do that, add up the score of each group, and therefore the group which has the highest score is the issue that needs to be worked on first. The group that has the highest score is the issue that should work on first. So the 80-20 rule means that if you take that group which has the highest score in terms of that, you're only probably going to minimize your social media, you're only going to prioritize maybe sending emails during morning hours, and by doing that, it has solved many of the things that normally waste time during your day. So instead of answering emails after every minute, instead of going to see who has commented on your Facebook picture, blah, 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 have a time out for such so that you can be able to do that. So with that, you'll be able to achieve 80% only by spending 20% of actions that are going to do that. So after you take the action that is needed to be taken, you will enjoy the benefits of this rule. Now look at this. What are some of the people who are likely to benefit from this technique? Number one, we have what we call the problem solvers, or even leaders. This one is going, or even CEOs or managers. I know some CEOs or managers who normally have a time of checking the social media, they have a time of sending emails, blah, 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 and all that and all of that. So we also have analytical thinkers. If you are a person who is an analytical thinker, it is a rule that is going to work for you so well, and so well. So that is number one. What about number two? There is another one called the Pomodoro technique. It was created by the entrepreneur and author called Francisco Cirillo. This was the founder of this particular rule. Now, this one uses a timer, like you time yourself in every task that you do. You have a timer. Nowadays, we have phones, they have timers, or you can use your watch, wristwatch, or any type of watch. You set a timer depending on what you want to do. So each interval is known as what you call the Pomodoro. No wonder where the name came from. It is named after the tomato-shaped timer. I think you can see how a tomato shape is and all that. So this is Cirillo who actually created that tomato-shaped timer that you're talking about. So how does the Pomodoro technique work? Number one, you choose a task you need to get done. Number one, maybe you need to finish a report. Maybe you need to finish an assignment. Maybe you need to, whatever task you need to do, choose a task you need to get done, and then set a timer, either 20 minutes or 25 minutes, or you want to use 30 minutes on that particular task. And then focus on the task at hand. Don't focus on, oh, I'm supposed to do another task. I'm supposed to look at chemistry. I'm supposed to look at coding with Python. No. Focus at the task at hand. And when the timer rings to say that 25 minutes are over or your 30 minutes are over, put a check mark on a piece of paper to show that, all right, I'm through with this, or I'm supposed to be done with this at this particular time. So this one gives you pressure. You know, pressure is good depending on who you are. And I'm sure for most leaders, they consider pressure as a good thing because it pushes them to do what they're supposed to do. So a timer kind of puts pressure on you, which is really good, so that you can be able to finish that instead of procrastinating and all that. So once the timer is up, take a short break. Take a break for about 3 to 5 minutes. Go for a walk. Grab a cup of coffee. Do something that is non-work related, so that you can give your brain a break. And then after you come back to the same task or to another new task, repeat the steps 2 to 5 times. And once you have completed this process 4 times, you can begin to take longer breaks of 30 to 45 minutes or 20 to 30 minutes and all that. Now remember this, it could be a project, maybe you're working on your master's program. This technique will actually help you to do that. So who are the type of people who are likely to actually benefit from this? Number one, you have people who are creative thinkers, people who need time to actually finish a task. Could be a thesis, could be a proposal, could be a research paper. You need to do this. It's going to help you a lot to also prevent burnout and all that. Number two, those who feel burnt out from work or school. I think I've talked about that. And also, we need to know that this technique does not just teach your time management, it also teaches you on setting goals and how to achieve them. So with this, you're able to stick to your daily schedule and week schedule in a very wise way. So we are saying these are not the only techniques, but these are some of the famous techniques that highly effective people are actually using outside here to ensure that they finish the work they are supposed to finish. Another technique I want us to look at is this one. It's called the Eisenhower matrix. It's also a very famous technique that is being used outside here to ensure that people are maximizing their 24 hours. one of, as we said, very expensive resource, a very expensive resource. So Eisenhower matrix comes from the name of a former U.S. Army by the name Dwight Eisenhower, who also became the president in 1953. So he served in the U.S. Army as an Allied Forces commander during the World War II, and he was, when you're at the top there at the army, or when you're making key decisions, you have to know how to manage your time. So he was faced with difficult decisions every day that led him to actually come up with such. So he called it the Eisenhower matrix, or it's also called the urgent important matrix. Very famous. I've seen this technique in other books, many books that I've come across and all that. So how does this work? Number one, there's what you call a quadrant. A quadrant means four parts. You need to organize your 4 parts the following way. Number one, you need to have important versus unimportant, and urgent versus not urgent. So that forms a quadrant. I'll show you the picture just below. So this is how it looks like. Let me show you. So this is how it looks like: important, urgent, not important, not urgent, blah blah blah. So, and then you take the tasks that you currently have on your desk, and then you group them here according to what is important and urgent, to what is important and not urgent, to what is not important but is super urgent, but to what is also not important but not urgent as well. So whatever is important and urgent, those things need to be done as soon as possible, ASAP. So urgent and important tasks that need to be done right away. It could be a crisis in the office. That one you have to solve. If you're a manager, if you're a CEO, managing director, and all that, if there's a crisis in the office, you have to solve that. You can't, maybe you're trying to look at the targets you've been given. You can't really even concentrate on doing that report. You have to actually solve that crisis in the office, or pressing deadlines that maybe you need to look at. Could be also a report that you need to submit to your higher bosses. Is something that is very important and it's urgent. So it's upon you to develop that. You can use a piece of paper or your diary, group all those things like that, and then start with the most important. This is a very powerful technique that can help you achieve so much in life and in your study as a student, even be able to achieve good grades. We also have not urgent but important. So these ones you have to decide. These tasks are important but not urgent. Like going to the gym, you can, if it's not really that urgent, you can say, you know what, let me go tomorrow. Let me handle the revision because I have an exam tomorrow. You can actually reschedule the gym. But as you can see, it's important but not urgent. Time with family, sometimes there are things you need to finish somewhere. If it's the work that puts food on your table, there are some things you need to put and all that. But remember, family is very important. So that's why we're saying this is very important, but it may not be urgent at that particular time. We also have the not important but urgent. So what do you do? What do you do with the not important but urgent? You delegate. Give other people to do that. You can schedule meetings. You can also schedule appointments and all that, and things will still run so well. But in a situation whereby you have not important and also not urgent, you know what you need to do? You can delete, because it's neither urgent nor important. So some personal calls, you can be able to forgo them and maybe do that later when you're totally free and all that. Social media, every now checking who has liked your photo, sometimes it's not that important compared to that report you need to submit to your bosses. So who are some of the people who are going to benefit from such? People in leadership positions. Oh yes. If you're in any leadership position, you are a student leader, remember you need to balance your grades, and you leading students in campus, university, you need to balance this. And also critical thinkers are some of the beneficiaries of such. Because of time, I would like to move to another another technique. It's called the Parkinson's law. This was the British historian Cyril Northcote Parkinson became famous for the phrase "work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion." In other words, the amount of time you give yourself to complete a specific task is the amount of time it will take you to complete that task. Because you pressure yourself, like you give yourself 1 hour, this is the 1 hour that I only need to be able to finish this. So how does it work? One thing we need to know is that this is not really like a time management technique per se, but it's like a law, such that when understood, is very beneficial for time management methods outside there. This means that you work more efficiently in shorter bursts of time. And here are some of the management tips according to this law. Try working without a computer charger. You have this report you need to submit to your boss or assignment you need to do. You know what you can do? Switch off the socket that connects your charger to your laptop and say, you know what, I'm supposed to finish this thing before my charge actually goes to zero. So this will force you to finish your project before your computer dies. Amazing technique, as you can see, guys. Also, getting it done early. So instead of finishing an essay by midnight, maybe you had said, you know what, I'll do this by midnight. No. What if you say, the first time I come to the desk early in the morning, let me do it fast. Guess what? You'll have enough time instead of finishing it at midnight. What if you set a deadline? Give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a set time to do something and then cut it in half. If you wanted to do that in 1 hour, push yourself to do it in 30 minutes. And you'll be able to free up time to do other things. Maybe to do an online course, do something else and all that. Also, what about limit time for tasks? Give yourself only 20 minutes in the morning to answer emails. Like what you talked about, you only have 20 emails to answer emails, and then after that, get to work. Do your work. Tomorrow morning, 20 minutes, answer your emails, or once you're through with what you're supposed to do, check if you have new emails later after the tasks are complete. So who are the types of people who are likely to benefit from such? We have what you call the procrastinators. I know most of us procrastinate. You know what? I'll do this tomorrow. You know what? Tomorrow is a holiday. I can do that. I can actually handle that. You know what? I can handle that next week. Next week you have a couple of time. No. Do the work that needs to be done so that you have enough time to do other things that are beneficial to you. So also people who work well under pressure. Oh yes. As I told you, like getting off your computer charger so that you can be able to finish your tasks. I mean, that is pressure. So people work well under pressure. This is also a very nice law to work with, or technique that can help you finish your work. I remember when I was in campus, there was this guy, I won't mention his name here. We've been given an assignment or a assignment project to do early in the morning, let's at 8, around 9ish and all that. The guy by 5:30 is done. And remember, we were given around a week to complete. The guy by 5:30 in the evening, the guy is done with the project. And us who are like, you know what, I have time. I know I'm not the only one. Most of us were like this. But nowadays, at least I've improved, I can say. We used to wait until the deadline. Many Kenyans normally are people of the deadline and all that. That's when we are like, oh, I'm supposed to do this, blah, 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 and all that. So I think if we apply these laws, we'll be able to have enough time, less pressure, and less stress, because we'll be able to have saved enough time. So the other technique is what? Time blocking method. Now, the time blocking method is another famous technique used by a very famous person here. We all know Elon Musk, who's known to be super productive. The guy works for 80 hours in a week. Okay, that's a lot. 80 hours in a week. 80 hours in a week. And still makes time for what? For himself. So what is the secret? The secret is simple. You use this rule of time blocking method. So how does it work? From the moment you wake up, you need to assign time block in your day to a task. They can be anything from eating breakfast to studying for a test and anything, finishing a report, answering your emails, answering your phone, all of those. Block the time. And then you need to divide a piece of paper into 2 columns. On the left, write down each hour of the day, like from the morning you wake up to the time you go to sleep. And create what you call blocks of time, such as half hour or hour chunks. And then you need to estimate the time it's going to take you to complete that particular task, and then fit them into your time blocks. That's what you do. And you can see, like the other one, this one is also, there's some sort of pressure and all that. So you need to add what you call buffer times in between each time block to allow for flexibility. For flexibility, you know, somebody say that one of the key traits of great people is flexible. They are flexible. In life, you need to be flexible as well. I know you've set that time like that, but also ensure that you're flexible so that you can be able to achieve amazing things as well on the planet. So what kind of people can be able to benefit from such? We have people like working students or parents, and also people like people who are analytical thinkers. Also, we have this other technique. We have the getting things done method. Get things done. This was created by this author by the name David Allen. This process helps you to get things done by recording tasks on paper and then breaking them down into actionable work items. This is like somebody who has a to-do list. Most of us are familiar with the to-do list. Also works best with me and other people. Once you're through with the task, you put a check, and then you get motivated. I'm telling you, it's one of the most effective way of also managing your time. You put some. I normally put some rectangular shapes or square shapes, and then I put a task next to it. So once I'm through, I put a check. It motivates you to actually get things done. So how does it work? Number one, capture the actions that have your attention. For instance, these actions are tasks that can relate to anything from work to school to your personal life, and then clarify what they mean, organize your actions, prioritize what the to-do list we're talking about, and then reflect. Review your list of actions frequently to determine your next priority, and then cross off tasks which have been accomplished or tick that box. And then after that, engage. Take actions or small tasks you can complete right now. I kid you not, I normally love this. It is one of the ways that helps me finish my task on time. Something you can also try from your end. So who are some of the people who are going to benefit from this? People who struggle to focus on one thing at a time. Like you have this and this, I think we've talked about that. And also people who feel overwhelmed in their daily lives. So if you're a manager, if you're heading something and you feel like you have a lot to do, this one is also another method that can help you do what? That can help you manage your time or your daily activities in a good manner. It's only because of time I will have actually gone deeper with this, but try that. It works amazing. You can use your diary actually to have those things there. In fact, all these methods that we've talked about, a good diary will actually help you with that. Number 7, we have the RPM, that stands for Rapid Planning Method, or Result, Purpose, and Massive Action Plan, developed by Tony Robbins, who is a motivational speaker, as a way to train your brain to focus on vision, on what you need, what you want, so you can make it real. So how does RPM work? It's very simple. Number 1, capturing. Write down all tasks you need to accomplish this week. As you can see, these things are almost similar. They're almost similar. They're also related, kinda. So, and then you do chunks, your tasks together by commonalities, those which are closely related to each other. which items are personal, which are school related, which are career focused. And then after that, you also create blocks like the other method we saw. On the top of a new sheet of paper, make 3 columns: the task, the result you want from completing that task, and your purpose for completing the task. After that, you list the actions you're going to take to get there. So it's very, very detailed. After that, you create an empowering role for yourself. For instance, if you're a student, you can call yourself the study queen. All right, you can call yourself the study queen to motivate yourself. This is anything that gets you psyched or just about completing your goal. Personally, I was studying the U.S. Navy SEALs, how they are able to accomplish their tasks. So back in campus, I used to have a book, an exercise book of around 48 pages. And whatever I need to study, I call myself a study SEAL or the Navy SEAL. So when you call yourself the Navy SEAL, you kind of picture yourself as a Navy SEAL who needs to accomplish a certain role. And true story, that worked for me in campus so well. So create an empowering role for yourself. You can call yourself a study queen. You can call yourself a study Navy SEAL. Anything of the sort, or a study soldier. So when you picture yourself as a soldier, you want to accomplish the things as given by your commander. The other thing that I used to do is that I take 2 roles in me. I'm the commander as well as the soldier. So you command yourself to finish the report, and then you act as a soldier so that you can be able to obey the first command of doing what? Of finishing the report. So we have so many techniques that you can be able to do that. So who are the people to benefit from this? Working students or parents again, and people who have long-term goals. Any person who has long-term goals, it is something that can be able to help you. So another technique, because of time, is what you call the pickle jar theory. The pickle jar theory. I want you to picture a jar that has the following. It's full of sand, pebbles, and rocks. Those 3 things. This theory helps you to figure out what is useful and what is not useful in your daily lives. So it is like ascending order or descending order, whichever way you may see it. So it allows you to plan with tasks with more time to spare, and set priorities for your day. So we have the sand that represents disrupting elements of your day, such as phone calls, we have text messages, we have emails, we have social media, etc., etc. And then the pebbles on this other side represent what we call the tasks that need to be completed but can be done on another day or by someone else. And last but not least, we have what we call the rocks. These are the most important tasks that need to get done today. So you can see like sort of ascending, descending order there, and then you choose from there. Now, you begin by thinking about how your tasks for the day are going to fit into the above categories. Now, it's you to picture what becomes the pebble, what becomes the sand, and what becomes the rock. It is you to do that. And once you do that, you now start with the most important, finishing with the least important. So what are some of the people who are going to benefit from this? These are visual people who like to visualize how their week is going to be, how their day is going to be, how their 1 hour is going to be, how their 24 hours is going to be spent. And also we have the concrete thinkers. The concrete thinkers are also people who are going to benefit from that. So you make a task list starting with the rocks and ending with the sand, if time permits. Last but not least, we have the eat that frog technique. Eat the frog technique. Eat the frog technique. You have a list of tasks to accomplish, and then you have that big one. You know that, how do I get rid of this other one? You know what? Start with it. Start with it. and get rid of it as soon as possible. So this technique is named after Mark Twain's quote: "Eat a live frog the first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day." So start your day by doing the most onerous task first and getting them out of the way so that you can deal with those ones you're super comfortable with. So how does it work? Very simple. Number one, get clear on a goal. What do you want to achieve most? Then write it down, set a deadline, compile a list of all things you need to achieve your goal, organize this list in an order of priority. Of course, the most important at the top, least important at the bottom. Take action. If you have more than one frog on your plate, what do? Eat the nastiest one first. I mean, this is amazing. The one you feel that, you want to code with Python, you want to code with Java, you feel this one, all right, this is, I need this, because I know if I let it be the last, I may not be able to meet the deadline. So start with that first. So repeat this cycle every day so that you're always doing something that will push you toward your goal. So what are some of the types of people who are going to benefit from this? Abstract thinkers, people with long-term goals. Remember, if you have any question, there's the chat section even after listening to this, and then you'll be able to answer the questions. Now that you're done with those techniques, here are some of additional time management tips. Number one, some of these things are a repeat of what we talked about. Number one, setting goals correctly, prioritize wisely, set a time limit, take breaks between tasks. Number 5, organize yourself, remove non-essential tasks, and also plan ahead. These are also going to help you do that. So as we finish, what are some of the implications of poor time management? You see, the good thing, the first presenter actually touched about how to manage yourself well in terms of studying and all that. Here are some of others. We have plenty of them. Here are some of the implications of poor time management. Number one is poor workflow. You don't have control of the sequence of activities in your day. It's going to mess you up, ending up you suspending the entire day so that you can start over again tomorrow. And if you don't have a good control of your day, the same applies. So poor workflow, there's wasted time, there's loss of control. I've talked about that. There's also poor quality of work because you don't have enough time to finish your work. You end up doing shoddy work, which also paints a bad picture, or a bad reputation, as you can see, point number 5 here, of you. You don't want your employer or the people around you to say that, all right, this guy never finishes tasks on time, or he never finishes work, or he does a shoddy work. No, you don't want that to happen. So, as I said, we have numerous tips. We have numerous ways of managing your time, your week, your month, your 24 hours. And yes, so these are other additional strategies because of time. Number one, you start your day with a plan. You prioritize the most important tasks. You limit distractions. You leave the emails for later. You reduce what you call multitasking tasks. Block time off on your calendar, like the how Elon Musk normally does that. Know when to say no to meetings. You cannot attend all meetings. Say no to meetings that you feel like this one can wait, but this one can't wait. Summarize and review your day. Look ahead in terms of week and months, and also take time to recharge. Yeah, rest is very key. Rest is very key. So when choosing a time management technique that works for you, ensure that you know who you are, you know what you want to achieve as a person, and then from there you can choose the best one that works for you. And one thing we need to know is that as we wind up with this presentation is this, that at the end of the day, it is you to know who you are, what you want to achieve, and then pick a technique that fits you. And you're not tied to one technique. Every now and then you can choose either Parkinson Law, you can choose the one for blocking your calendar, you can choose the one for Pomodoro's technique. You choose the one that will work for that task at hand. So mastering your time management, guess what? It will set you up for success. in all areas of your life, whether you're a student, a manager, a professional, whichever area that you work with. So let us do that. So in case of any questions, you can be able to leave that in the chat section, and then we'll be able to answer you. If it's about the learning methods that was presented by my fellow presenter, or if it's about how to manage your time even more effectively, you can be able to ask questions, and we'll be able to do that. So the most important, no, not the most important, sorry, it is actually one of the most crucial and expensive commodity on the planet, that is time. You only have 24 hours. How are you going to use your 24 hours to become, to be at the optimal levels in terms of career, in terms of as a student, in terms of if you're a manager, if you're a CEO, whatever profession that you currently work in, or whatever company you work in and all that, how are you going to use your 24 hours to ensure that you manage them wisely, and you also have time for your family and time for your recreational activities? So my name is Alex, and I've been it was a pleasure to do this, and I wish you an inspirational career growth. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dennis.
Thank you so much, Alex, Presenter Alex. I think that was a beautiful presentation. I think I'll start using the eat that frog. That one I think is a nice one. I think it's so relevant. Because once you do the toughest in the morning when you have the most energy, it means that the rest of the day, in other words, you start at the top of the hill, then you start going downhill in terms of the challenges. Thank you so much, Alex. I think that was quite a learning point, even on a personal level. And that's why we're saying these presentations that we do here, they are meant to not only improve our students, but also improve them or make them better workers when they're out there working, because again, you can be an A student, but your techniques of working, of managing time, causes you to have a lot of problems with your seniors, because you cannot manage your time. You don't know what is your priority, what you need to let go. I think nowadays we're talking about the Gen Zs. You find the Gen Zs, they go to the office, they don't want to extend a minute. They are on the phone all the time. Their friends come to the office, they pick them, they go somewhere, and and you can see how relevant your presentation is to the workplace. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you.
We look forward to more presentations from you. So next, we are going to have a presentation from our Mombasa branch, from Presenter Simon. His presentation is actually explaining the role of the faculty. The faculty is one of the key areas of a college, and a lot of students are not able to understand how effectively they're supposed to use the faculty. The faculty is full of the lecturers or the trainers who improve the status of the students. But let me not preempt the presentation. At this juncture, I would like to welcome Simon. Simon, feel most welcome. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Thank you for also the presenters who have presented earlier, Alex and Samson Mwatha. Your presentations were actually so much enlightening on the time management. They were so nice. So without wasting much time, I'm going to take you through the role of faculty in the success of a student. So let me share my screen. A student. So the role of faculty in the success of a student actually plays a very important and a very crucial role in shaping the academic and the personal success of the student. Remember, it is the role of now the trainers, the lecturers, the instructors to guide and also mentor the students, to guide them, and also to ensure that they create a very supportive learning environment. So I will be breaking this down into a couple of aspects so that we try to understand how faculty contributes to the student success. So number one, the role of faculty is to ensure that there is effective teaching methods that are applied when we are transferring the knowledge to the students. Remember now, the faculty members, they have to use a couple of training or teaching methods to ensure that they pass the knowledge effectively to the students or to the learners. And this, they can actually include lectures, the normal discussions, whereby they can introduce a topic where now the students are supposed to engage together with the lecturer. They're supposed to create sense out of that discussion. So, and from these discussions, students are able to learn more, again, on a specific topic, because they can engage their minds, and they can also be able to introduce more on actually maybe what was covered on the lecture by introducing again more topics, and maybe their personal view again on what is being discussed. We also have got the hands-on activities, as we introduce now the knowledge, and again we introduce the hands-on practicality on the topic, especially now this comes on the those courses or those skills that requires a student or a learner to be able to tackle the topic through hands-on, maybe configuring a device and ensuring that maybe whatever they are configuring, it is going also again to work on a certain area. So, so this theoretical knowledge has to be done practically to ensure that the learner is able to get the knowledge fully on both areas. There's also the use of digital learning tools. Like, for example, most of the practical labs that are normally in lectures or in the lecture rooms, like you can introduce labs like virtual machines, whereby now the student or the learner is able to interact with most of the devices. A student maybe cannot afford to purchase maybe a router, but you can, it's the work of the faculty now, or the lecturer who is taking through the students to know how to interact with maybe virtual labs or these digital learning platforms, so that the student is able to interact with these virtual devices as if they are the normal actual device. And by the time they get to the actual devices, it becomes very easy because they have already interacted with these tools. Then it's also the work of the faculty to ensure that the curriculum is the one that is being used is up to date. It is also relevant to whatever they are passing to the students, and also to ensure that whatever they are passing to the students, that's the necessary skills and the knowledge that these students or these learners are supposed to have. So it's work of the faculty to ensure that their curriculum, the curriculum that they are using, it's up to date, and it's always good for the faculty to share the same with the students, the course outlines, maybe even the coursework, so that they can be at par with each other. There's also mentorship and guidance. Now, even before we look at these points, like in the current world, there are new courses that are still emerging, and one is because we have new technologies that are being introduced that were not there like maybe a decade or 2 decades ago, and therefore now we have to ensure that these learners or these students who are coming into place to acquire these skills, they are supposed to have at least a guide on the path that they are supposed to do. Maybe someone who is in the field of networking, what are they supposed to do before they are well equipped with the networking skills? Where should they start? What courses should they be able to do all the way? The same maybe case applies to the programming and all that. It is the work of the faculty to ensure that they mentor the learners and the students, and to ensure that the paths, the career paths, and also the running paths that they are going to follow, they are going to become successful later on. So the first one is academic advising. So this helps the student to align with the academic pursuits with their career goals. That's number one. And with this, it's a very proper guide, because the students are able to, or the runners are able to have a proper guide, they don't have a lot of questions in their mind because you have already cleared a path for them. And from time to time, they can be even be confirming this is where they started, these are the certifications that they have already managed, these are the skills that they have obtained for a certain duration of time, and you're also preparing them for the market. Other than academic advising, there's also the part of the curriculum development. This one again is also supposed to be passed to the student as well, especially when, for example, students are not so much sure of the course that they're supposed to take. It's always good to share with them maybe some course content they can even read through and to see if it is aligning with maybe whatever they want to study. The part on mentorship and guidance is where we're talking of you can be able to guide the students all along from once they begin their learning journey all the way to the end. And the part that I've not mentioned about is the research and innovation. So the faculty is supposed to involve and the runners of the students to ensure that the students are able to tackle research projects. The good thing with the research projects is that they're able to widen the knowledge and also the innovation when it comes to research, gaining more ideas and also trying to put these ideas into a practical solution, maybe towards a problem that is there. And this hands-on experience that we now portray on the projects, it is supposed also to ensure that it prepares the runners or the students later in their careers, because very soon they are released to the job market. So whatever the faculty is doing to the runners or to the students, we are preparing these runners to join the job market. And therefore, we have to ensure that we give them the necessary skills, and also ensure that they have got innovative minds, so that once they get there, their work will be very, very easy. There's also this aspect of the critical thinking that is supposed to be introduced also by the lecturers or the trainers or the instructors, because it normally engages the students to ensure that they can be able to think even outside the box. So there is a challenge here. How are you supposed to solve this challenge? Now, through a lot of experimentations that are normally done in the lecture rooms, in the computer labs, students are able to run a lot through those creative exercises that are given. And this one is supposed now to advance the critical thinking of the runners or the students. And with this now, with the time, it ensures that now the students are able to even handle more complicated tasks, and they can be able to come up with the solutions towards those specific problems that later they are supposed to meet in the field. And this now makes their work easy, because the faculty is actually preparing them for the job market. So once they get there, their work is very, very easy. Then still on the research and innovation, we have the faculty still. It works towards creating an inclusive and supporting classroom environment where the students are normally feel that they are valued. It also encourages students to participate. In these debates that we normally have in the classrooms, they are so much important, because other than engaging the students with the one-on-one asking questions, and they're able to give you the feedback as a faculty member, the students also feel that they're also valued. They also feel that they are part of the learning system. And with this now, it develops confidence in them. And it still makes them feel that they can be able to do more and more and more and more. And therefore, with this kind of platform, we're able to transform not only the hands-on practical experience on the knowledge, but even boosting the confidence of the learners and also the students when it comes to communication, when it comes also to how they approach a certain problem, because the environment itself is making them feel that that's where they're supposed to be and that's where they're supposed to learn, and they can be able to exercise their minds as they share their content with the other students. So I've already tackled the student engagement as well. Let's go to role modeling and inspiration. So it's the work of the faculty to ensure that it demonstrates a dedication. It is also supposed to serve as professional role model, the ethical behavior, the commitment to lifelong learning. Remember now, the faculty is more of the professionals now. These are people who are already experienced, they are competent in their fields, in their areas, and therefore they are supposed also to portray the same to the students as well, because the students are able to emulate. I want to become like Professor so and so, lecturer so and so, and the way you guide them, the way the faculty members present themselves to the student, there's that aspect that they are able to emulate. How you handle problems, how dedicated you are, and they always feel like they can also be able to imitate you. Now, it also has a lifelong impact, because we normally train students from this level, they move to higher levels of learning, and the journey proceeds. But there is always that aspect of the students still communicating with the faculty members, because maybe they want assistance from here or there, they need this or that. So there is that lifelong kind of experience that is actually developed when the faculty is actually interacting with the student. It's like a lifelong learning. We doesn't have an end, and therefore this is a life-changing kind of an aspect, because you cannot separate the student from the institutions. From time to time, they still be coming to gain more knowledge, and that becomes a very good kind of inspiration from the faculty to the students, and also from the students learning from the faculty. So they can also share their own academic and professional experiences from their fields. Like, for example, you can give examples of maybe how your journey has been. So this again also is able to motivate most students or learners who are feeling like maybe the courses are maybe too complicated, but maybe before they give up, that experience that you give them of maybe of your own past experience, it is able to ensure or it is able to create something into the minds of the students that I can still be able to do this thing. So this is a very good aspect, because it is a life-changing thing, and from the way we view things, it is also able to affect the way how our learners or the students are also supposed to how to perceive their things, and the way they respond from these problems, how we assist them. It matters a lot even after they are done with the school, because once they go to the field, they're also able to apply the same skills. There's also the assessments and feedbacks. You know, it's the work of the faculty to ensure that once the students are done with maybe the learning, they need to do exams, maybe at the end of the course. During the course, they are supposed to be given assignments. Now, the work of the assignments and the exams is to ensure that the student is at track on whatever they are covering. Is the student understanding? So they can only gauge themselves and the learners through their performance on the assignments, and also through their performance on the exams. So this way, you can be able to understand their strengths and also the areas that they need to improve. So on the assessment, you can the student can be able to understand the progress, and they can as a faculty, one can be able to provide some maybe even necessary support to ensure that there is academic success to the student, because through the performance you can be able to know that a certain student or a certain learner is not performing well in this specific unit, maybe through the cards, through the assignments. So you can maybe even try to understand what could be wrong. Is it that they don't have the materials that they require? Is it that maybe the student has got has some personal problems that are affecting their performance? So the faculty is still more of like a parental care and guide when it comes to the institutions, and therefore this can be able to improve the academic performance of the students if you're able to assist them. For example, if they're able to share some problems that they are facing, maybe personally, and the way you guide them as a faculty, it is going to, at some point, result to success, because what they thought was amounting to them, once you handle it as a faculty member, the student is able to have relief on that problem. Then you have got support beyond the classroom. We have a couple of activities, like extracurricular activities. So the faculty often supports and leads extracurricular activities. For example, there could be clubs, there could be organizations that are enhancing the students' overall education experience. You could be having some organizations that are out here that maybe offer coding classes, and you can introduce this to the students. So this at some point is going to improve the way the students or the learner is actually viewing things, and from this they even learn more, and from these different experiences they become more active, and the more they are active, the more again they're able to have the more they are, the system is able to shape them for more opportunities in the future. So this is again a part that is also very, very important. That's why we have in the colleges and universities, there are sports activities that are taking place as well. There are other activities that are there, and the students are supposed to join here. And this is where now the students is able to even identify that they have got even more talents than the way they thought they never had these talents, because when the system or when the faculty of an institution creates these platforms, it is through the interaction of the students with and whatever they are actually offered, they're able to identify that they are good in this, they are good in music, they are good in these other things, and that's how again they can also be able to even have a different perspective again on their career, because they can be able to engage with other activities, and other than whatever they are running in the institution, they can also be able to build themselves even further, because the system is giving them more opportunities. Then there's career preparation. So faculty assist in career preparation by offering resume reviews. There's mock interviews, networking opportunities with the industry professionals. So with this set in place by the faculty or even by the institution, because right now you cannot separate the faculty from now the entire institution now. It is able to prepare these students there. You can it's the work of the faculty to be even bringing the some experts from the field. They have those career talks like the ones that we have right now at the moment. And students are, or even the learners, they are able to learn more from the experts. So these opportunities, they are very good, and students are supposed to ensure that they take every opportunity that is offered by the faculty. And from this is where now they even create more networks to be able to get the clear picture of what is actually in the industry, what the industries actually require of them, because from these professionals, they are going to learn a lot. They'll be able to have first-hand experience of what the industry is expecting of them, and therefore they can improve themselves. And even as they move to the job market, they'll be able to know what the employers or what actually the industry at large is expecting of them, and therefore they will be equipped and they will not have challenges when it comes to even passing through these interviews, passing maybe some of the exams that they might get along the way as they are being vetted into these career paths. So that's again another role of faculty to support beyond the classroom. So there is life beyond the classroom, and this is the work of the faculty to ensure that the students are able to see beyond the classroom environment. So we can conclude and say the faculty or the role of faculty, when it comes to the success of the students, it goes beyond the traditional teaching method, and this is through the instructions that they offer to the students, through mentorship, through research opportunities that are presented to them, and also the creation of a supportive learning environment. So the faculty also contributes to the academic and the personal growth of the students. That's what actually have seen. And through this dedication and the commitment, it is able to help and also shape the success of the students, and also preparing them to meet challenges when they actually exposed to the job market. So in short, we can say that faculty is going beyond the normal lectures, the normal exams, the normal assignments that are offered to the students, because it's more of like preparing this student on how they are going to tackle life once they are done with the classes. And that's actually the most important part, because life outside school is everything. It is real, and they need to have all they need to be well equipped when it comes to the skills, when it comes to being creative, and also ensuring that they are very competitive outside there in the market. So that's my end of the end of my presentation. And if you have any question right now, you can throw your questions, or maybe even something to add on top of whatever we have discussed here. You know, it's a very long topic that we can discuss, but that's actually what I had prepared for today.
Thank you so much, Simon. And that was a beautiful presentation. I don't think there's somebody better than you who could have presented it, because I think the understanding of the role of a faculty to the students is very important to me. I find most of what you've discussed, a lot of students are not able to maximally use it, and therefore they don't get the complete need, because, you know, lecturers are basically the creators of the next group of the innovators, you know, of the great business people that are supposed to come from these institutions. We say we just don't ensure that somebody has a certificate, but their workmanship can actually be seen at the workplaces where they'll go there and work. That's the essence of the training that we offer, because we are a business and IT college that offers quite high-end courses. So thanks so much, Simon. I think that will be a key presentation, and something for all our students to watch and learn, and also become aware about them. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Okay, welcome. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you so much, everyone, for today's event. We're going to have the recordings edited so that we can be able to have them on our YouTube channel. Encourage everybody to watch them, share, subscribe, and comment. Feel free to suggest the same to our friends, so that they're also able to benefit, as well as be able to be of help to them. As we've highlighted in our links, we're going to share that the various locations of our branches. We're in Nairobi, Buruburu, and Nairobi CBD, Buruburu, and Mombasa. Therefore, everybody in those particular areas can be able to benefit from the various courses that we have. And from any other part of the country, they can actually be able to join us. So at this point, I would like to bring the event to an end. And I would wish that we bring it to an end with a word of prayer. I'll say a short prayer, then we can end it. We can go in prayer. Father and our God, in the mighty name of Jesus, we come before the presence with utmost humility and thanksgiving. We thank you, Lord, for this great career fair event that we've had. May the discussions here and the videos, Lord, bring inspiration, as well as be able to improve our students and any stakeholder who comes across them for the glory of your name and the well-being of the society. We worship you, Lord, and we glorify your holy name. And it's in the mighty blood name of Jesus Christ we pray and believe. Amen. So thank you so much, everyone. At this point, I would wish that we can leave at our leisure, and the same will be shared in due course. Thank you so much. May God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.